Hopefully you can hear me. Let me know.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. I don't know how many other people are joining us. I did send the email out though, so hopefully they'll be coming because this is going to be recorded. So if they need to watch it later, they can watch it later. This is going to be amazing. I'm just going to kind of go over how it's going to work, how it's going to flow, other than what you already know. So obviously, it's a one on one mentorship. However, it's not just the one on one, it's also the weekly classes. So this is the welcome call. We'll be having classes every Monday. I picked Monday because I know a lot of nail techs who do this full time don't do like they don't work on Monday. So it's an easier thing for them to show up to. However, every live call is still going to be recorded. So if anybody misses a call or you can't stay the whole time or you got to come in late and it's almost over, you can still go back and rewatch it. The
Okay.
one-on-ones are once a week. You can get up to one once a week. You don't have to book one every single week if you don't want to or if you don't feel like you got anything pressing that you want to talk about. How the one-on-ones are going to be structured is we get on the call. They can be anywhere from a half an hour to 1 hour depending on what we're working on. We are going to set like some goals on the very first one so we can
Mm-hmm.
kind of have a working plan. We're going to leave that first call with a checklist of like, these are the things we're working on. This is our timeline. Since this is a lifetime mentorship, there are going to be timelines where it's like, okay, we're going to get to this maybe 3 months down the road, but right now we're working on
Right.
this. You'll always have something that you're progressing to, and you'll have someone, me, to bounce those ideas off of. So if you're like, hey, I was thinking about doing this, what do you think is the best way to approach it? Do you think it's a good idea? We're working together. I like to say it is a mentorship, but it's not just me sitting there saying, okay, well, you need to do this and you need to do
Yeah,
that.
right. Do this, do that, do this, do
Yeah,
that.
it's more
You
of
have
a
to have accountability
collaboration.
for the things that you want to do.
Yeah, it's more of a collaboration. So it's like you're telling me, hey, this is my idea. I'm not here to be like, that's a bad idea. Don't do that. Do this
Right.
instead. I'm here to see how can we make it work. If this is what your idea is, what can I lend and help you figure out? Because a lot of people think that they don't need like a mentor. And I used to think this too, like, well, I don't need anybody to tell me. I'm smart. I can figure it out. And it's like looking at a situation from the outside looking in. Sometimes you need that perspective, and somebody
Right.
who's looking at it from a distance may be able to see something that you don't
That I
see.
don't.
And that's the thing. It's like that's kind of where the mentors coming in. It's like they're filling in the little gaps, and they're like, okay, you got your foundation built, so let's expand on that and let's build it up the
Right.
right way. How it's gonna work? You already saw the getting started. I'm gonna share my screen. Oh, it's the start here. This is our hub. I will be updating this as we go along, so when we have new things to add to it. The class schedule, when you click on that, it is going to open up the calendar. I clearly clicked on the wrong link. That's why it says content class on our meeting right now. But
Mm-hmm.
everything will be in here. You can see there is going to be a content challenge next week from the 25th all the way to the 31st. So when we meet on the 31st, when we have our class on the 31st, we will be sharing results of like the content challenge. I will be going over what's all in the content challenge on the 24th meeting, so that'll be the same time, 6:30 p.m.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about content because a lot of people are struggling with content, what kind of content to put out there, the confidence to get out there and do content, different ways that we can monetize with content. So I'm going to be talking about that. So everything as far as the calendar will be here. When you open these up, the meeting for the call will be here, but that's where you can find your link for all of the classes, and it'll be the same on everyone. So the same thing for tomorrow's money workshop. You see there's a Google Meet link there. There'll be information about what's happening in there. You have all of these resources probably from when you signed up before, because I remember I said you could keep them, even though the
Right.
class didn't go forward. So make sure you are like you have them pulled up or you got them somewhere where you can click on them easily, because we are going to
Right.
be doing like a working session tomorrow when we do the class. So it's not going to just be me talking at y'all like do this, do this, do this. We're going to do it together.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to be using all of these things on the call tomorrow. Let me go back to the hub. So these tabs up here, you can click on those and it'll take you back where you were at if you ever get lost. So we'll just stay on start here though. I would suggest bookmarking the start here page because it's going to basically have links to everything you need to get to. Even for the people who haven't booked their one-on-one call, they can click here. I will eventually just change the wording to say if you're ready to book your next one-on-one, you can just click here. For the people who've already booked, and then once we have our first call and you want to book your second one, you can. And I'm not going to be one of those people like, oh, well, if you didn't do your homework, you can't book another call, because I want you to be accountable, but not for me,
Right.
for you.
Of course.
Yeah, so it's like if you want to book a call and you really haven't worked on the thing from the last call, that's just more work you're gonna have to do. You want to take it kind of in increments because I don't want anybody to be overwhelmed. I don't want to be overwhelmed. I don't want to have 10 different tasks that I'm trying to keep up with for one person. Right. Oh yeah, we will work with your constraints and work around them, and set your tasks every week on the calls that we need to get done by the next call. And it's not supposed to be an overwhelming thing. It's like, right, okay, what can I do to help you check these things off of your list versus being like, well, you didn't do your stuff, so that's a you problem. Then there's some FAQs at the bottom. A lot of people probably aren't going to need these, but if you ever get into a point where you just have a question or you think something needs to be added there, just let me know and I can add it. This is also something that if you are friends with somebody or somebody is like, oh, I want to get into the mentorship, but I got questions, you can come here and say, okay, well, they asked, how many one-on-ones do they get? Let me go here and tell them. Like, she has a FAQs that I can show you or I can just tell you about. I may put this on another public page that maybe y'all can share. So if you did want to invite somebody into the mentorship, you could, and then all their questions will be answered. Yeah, but that's pretty much it on the Start Here page. We'll be adding these other pages as well. So the hub, I don't know if y'all have access to this right now. If you don't, you will have access to it by the end of the day, but this is where the class replays will live. This is also a placeholder, so there's nothing in here yet. Right. So this call that we're on right now will obviously be in there. Tomorrow's call will be in there, and then that scheduled content class call will be in there also. Tools and resources. I have way more stuff than this. Yes. So I will be putting stuff in here too that isn't necessarily pricing stuff, but just other things I have. The video editing, stuff about Shopify. I do want to do an updated marketing masterclass, so that probably will be one of our Monday master classes. I haven't done one in like 3 years. So so much has changed on social media and just with marketing and with the AI and everything else that's out now. It's kind of like what I was focusing on when I did them before, is the marketing psychology and how to say things without saying them outright, or how to persuade people to, buy what you're buying or book an appointment or listen to whatever you're saying without sounding pushy, without feeling like you're being cringy or you being like the sleazy car salesman. Our money workshop resources are going to be under here. Okay. And then once we have the content class, there'll be different resources for that. Once we have the marketing masterclass, and so on and so forth. I wish I would have had a me back when I was trying to figure things out. And a lot of stuff was me just brainstorming and piecing this together and getting a little piece of information from over here and a little piece of information from over there and reading a book on this. And it's like, that's cool, but that's the long way. Right. Versus somebody saying, hey, I already read the books. I already watched those videos. I already paid for this class. I already paid for that mentor. I'm bringing everything that I know so I can help other people all at one time. We can cut some steps and cut some time out of it. Right. Especially if you're in a point where you're trying to turn things around and, revamp your business, so to speak. Time is of the essence. So it's not necessarily a rushing thing, but it's like the more time you have to actually work on the things you need to work on versus trying to go out and gather information, the better, because a lot of people get stuck in that information gathering cycle of like, oh, I'm doing my research, I'm looking this up, I'm looking that up, and it's like, okay, we need somebody that's like, okay, cool, we're gonna meet once a week, this is what we're working on, how are we looking, how's it coming along, what you need help with, let's get it done.